Well, as you know, recently college athletes could make these deals called NIL deals, name, image, and likeness with various companies to get compensated. And that was sort of the deal that was working in the Division One on these NIL deals. Well, now a judge in California by the name of Claudia Wilken, she has finally settled a big time NCAA lawsuit, actually three federal lawsuits, and she has approved colleges to be able to directly pay athletes. You heard me right. Division One, a California judge has said, okay, I'm going to sign off on the deal. Colleges will be able to directly pay their athletes. So if you've got an athlete in your family who's going to go to a Division One school, he can sit down there and negotiate how much money he's going to be paid to work and to perform at that particular college which he is planning attending. Now, they've got it set up, they've got a roster set up that limits the number of players that could be paid. In football, it's 105 players. In basketball, it's 15 players. That's for men's. And for baseball, it's 34 players. Now, I don't know about the women's. I'm just telling you the men's stuff. So right now, a judge says, colleges, you can officially start paying July the 1st. You can start paying your athletes money to perform at your college under football, baseball, or basketball. Now, they've set a limit, and there's a commission they put together that says, okay, a commission is going to control, it's called the College Sports Commission, and it will determine what schools are paying as long as nobody beats the cap. And right now, the cap is $26.5 million. Now, that's the current cap that colleges can pay. So you got to say to your college, okay, I got $20-some million I can pay my athletes. And that's your total amount of money that you can pass out. Some maybe get more, some maybe get less. The kids that are going to be left out are probably the walk-ons, partial scholarships. Those kind of kids are probably not going to see any coinage coming their way. But the big-time athletes, and now the kids can walk out from high school, go to a college and see, how much are you going to pay me? It's not about the coach. It's not about having a nice facilities, great weight room, fabulous stadium, great weather. It's about none of those. It's about how much you could pay these kids to play football, baseball, or basketball at a Division I school. So the judge has approved it, friends. So now, guess what? College athletes are going to be paid, well, kind of like pro athletes are. So does that mean that college football is now professional college football? Because the players are being compensated for their ability to perform on the field. And now they've also said, okay, we're going to set aside a certain amount of money, and the amount of money they're going to set aside is in billions of dollars. I think it's $2.8 billion to pay all the athletes who didn't get NIL deals in the past. So these are old athletes that no longer stay in school, but they're saying, hey, we never got an NIL deal. We never got any of the stuff. We want to be compensated because we worked for the school at that time. So now they're going to shell out $2.8 billion to those athletes who never had the NIL deals, but that's keeping them from suing to say, hey, we want part of this deal. So everybody's going to get paid. And now schools are going to be paying your son or daughter, well, possibly daughter, to perform. Question is how much? And right now, at $26.5 million, don't know who's going to get what, but now you know. It has now been officially approved by a judge in California, canceling out 3 federal antitrust lawsuits and a whole bunch of other stuff that's going on. But now the NCAA will be able to pay athletes in baseball, football, and basketball. Boy, isn't that just wonderful? And especially if the kid doesn't make it to the NFL, Major League Baseball, or the NBA, he's already got himself a financial ticket to ride. Not too bad for just throwing a ball, catching a ball, or hitting a ball. Not too bad, folks. Not too bad.